Caltrain is a train service that operates on the 46-mile-long corridor between Gilroy and San Francisco. 4 miles of the corridor pass through Palo Alto. This video focuses on the Palo Alto part of the service, where every day 92 passenger trains and 3 to 4 freight trains pass through 4 gated crossings, where gates go up and down about 95 times at each crossing. Since dramatic changes are coming to this valuable service that will affect everyone in our community, this video can serve as your guide to understand what their impacts may be. The train tracks were laid down over 100 years ago when this area was farmland. Now it's one of the busiest places on earth where 6 million people live and work. On weekdays in 2018, the trains are filled and about 62,000 people per day take the train. That's equivalent to 4 lanes of freeway traffic. Caltrain is running at 125% capacity, and ridership is expected to increase dramatically with the addition of over 20,000 jobs that will be added with the planned Google expansion at Diridon in San Jose. People take the train because it is less expensive than using a car. When they add in parking and car maintenance, it's also safer, and they can get some work done on the train. It is often faster than a train because of the traffic in Silicon Valley. It's great for people that don't have cars, and it reduces the amount of greenhouse gases placed in the atmosphere. In addition to the 92 passenger trains per day, there are 3 or 4 freight trains per day. Freight trains are usually wider and longer than the passenger trains and run at night. The right-of-way for Palo Alto is 4 miles long and averages 100 feet wide. That represents 46 acres of land, which would have a value of about $1 billion in today's market. Knowing this provides some of the motivation for moving the train services underground. Underground service would also make our neighborhoods quieter and unify the 2 sides of the railroad line. On the flip side, undergrounding is a huge project. As mentioned before, in Palo Alto there are 4 gated crossings for car, bike, and pedestrian traffic. The gates go up and down about 95 times per day at each of the crossings. Caltrain currently has funded to convert from diesel trains to electric trains. Electric trains accelerate faster, and Caltrain plans to move to at least 120 trains per day. The gates are going to be down even more. That's why people are thinking of better ways of letting the cars cross the train tracks. Back in 1960, we had a similar problem when we put in the Oregon Expressway. The solution then was to dig an underpass. That solved the problem but required 6 acres of land and about 80 houses to be taken by eminent domain. An underpass requires huge ramps and intersections. Our current problem and challenge would require 4 underpasses and take perhaps 100 homes. It would be very expensive. The second possible solution is to elevate the train and let the cars pass under the tracks. This would use much less land than 4 underpasses. A downside of this idea is that the train is elevated and train noise could be heard from much further away. Also, there are safety and aesthetic concerns and issues. A third possible solution is to put the train in a trench and let the cars pass above the train. This solution reduces the noise from the train and has some advantages over the elevated solution. The fourth possible solution is to put the train completely underground. That eliminates much of the noise and frees up the 46 acres that the train tracks currently occupy. The land could become a park used for housing or for city services. The construction cost of this alternative has been estimated to be $1 to $2 billion. That's a lot, but the reduction in city noise and freed up land may well make this the best solution for the long term. For those of you that haven't memorized Palo Alto's maps, here is a 2-minute flyover of the Caltrain corridor as it goes through Palo Alto. This is the big picture map of Palo Alto looking north. Caltrain goes straight down the middle. Let's travel along the tracks from north to south. Caltrain enters Palo Alto as it passes over our namesake tree, El Palo Alto. It immediately crosses its first road, the Palo Alto Avenue. Half-mile further, it reaches the University Avenue train station. The train passes over University Avenue at this point. It continues about a half-mile where it crosses over Embarcadero Road. That underpass was built in the 1930s. Quickly, the train passes by Palo Alto High School and crosses Churchill Avenue. It then continues about 1 mile to the California Avenue train station, where there is a pedestrian underpass. After the train station, the train passes over Oregon Expressway, which was built in the 1960s. The train continues about 2 miles, where it crosses East Meadow Avenue. A quarter mile further, it crosses Charleston Avenue. Both East Meadow and Charleston are major routes for school kids. The train then travels about a half mile where it exits Palo Alto near the San Antonio overpass. Zooming back, we get a big picture of why the train service is so important. We live in a vibrant economy that generates large numbers of jobs. We grew up with a car culture that assumed plenty of room to park our cars and to drive them. That has resulted in this typical view of the freeway as it goes through Palo Alto. This is one of the many motivations for improving our train service. The City of Palo Alto is examining several design options for the potential grade separations along the corridor. The Caltrain corridor improvements are important to Palo Alto and the region. The results will support improved operations, safety, capacity, and create accessible and reliable transit and mobility opportunities. Important recommendations and decisions will be made in the next 3 to 6 months.